Hi, this is Gene from Listening In Radio KB9001MWDX, KB9001SWL, and my ham radio call sign WN9ZWC. It's been a while since I did a review on a radio, and I was kind of laying in bed with my phone a few nights ago, and I was scrolling through eBay seeing what was available in the way of shortwave radios, and I ran into this new radio, and it's a kind of a cheap radio, at least cheap in price. It has some nice features. But this is the isolar IS-F10BTS, and it is an inexpensive radio. I bought it for $17 with free shipping, and of course, obviously, it comes out of China. And I must note that this radio, when I bought it, it showed up in like 3.5 days. So the shipping was super fast. It must have come from inside the U.S. somewhere, but obviously, it's manufactured in China. And this radio has kind of an upside, and it has some downsides like most radios. Well, the first positive thing I could say is for a new user or a new DXer, the price is right, $17 plus shipping. And it has 3 bands. It touts itself as a 3-band radio with AM, FM, and shortwave. And it comes with the obligatory things you would expect to get with the radio. It has a USB charging cord, and it works off a lithium battery. It also appears to have a space in the back for D-cell batteries. Let me pop it open and show you real quick, because that's kind of interesting. So there's the lithium battery, and this appears to be the same size. I don't think it's a C size. I believe it's 2 1.5 volt D-cell batteries. So you have the option. Well, I want to mention something. I seen this big port in back, and I couldn't figure out what this huge port was. It goes all the way into the radio. What it does is it backs up to the speaker. This little radio has a subwoofer on it. If you put your ear to it while you're on FM, it actually, you get a pretty good stereo tone out of it, and you get the bass out of this port they put in back. It's a port hole, whatever you want to call it. So that was really interesting, an interesting aspect of the radio, or one of many. And it does recharge, obviously. And if you look at the radio, let me just put the back on here so we can get it organized. And if you look here, you'll see a red LED light illuminating from underneath the USB port. Might be a little bit blurry, but you can see that, and that obviously indicates that the battery is fully charged in the radio. The lithium battery is fully charged, and apparently it operates off of regular dry cell batteries, or whatever you want to call them. It is AM FM, and I did take this radio outside, and I tried it outside on a shortwave band, and I was surprisingly pleased with its reception on the shortwave band. When I had it in the house, there's just so much interference in houses today with cell phones and with digital equipment, LED light bulbs. All our lights are LED. They're just horribly, horribly noisy. And I hooked it up to my tuner. I have a bread box and tuner in the house, and I tried it that way, and it didn't work really well at all because of just all the interference. But so I took it, and I took it to the most quiet part of the yard that I could get it to, and it worked really well. And as you can see, it goes from 5,000 kilohertz up to 22 kilohertz. That's pretty much all the broadcast band on the right-hand side. So everything that you might want to listen to in broadcast band is available on one turn of the knob, and I kind of like that. It's kind of easy to use. And now let me see. I think I'm on shortwave now. Let me get off of there. Oh, there we go.
Fall into place makes a big jump up from 19 to 12.
It has about a 3.5-inch speaker on it, which the handy dandy manual here. It's not much of an instruction manual, by the way. It doesn't say a heck of a lot. It gives you some basics, but apparently it says in the instructions that it's a digital speaker, which tells me meaning it's DSP. And as you're tuning through shortwave, and as it tries to isolate the different frequencies where the broadcasts are on, you could hear that it's DSP, and it does a pretty good job of isolating it, but it does not refuse outside interference. I'm very close to a couple major radio stations. One is WHO out of Des Moines, and they just wipe everything out in my shack, just wipe everything out. If I try to use crystal radios, AM, FM, whatever, if I'm anywhere near the shortwave band, if I don't filter it out well, it just gets into that, and this radio does not have the ability to filter it out very well, but that's to be expected from most radios, so I'm not really surprised there. And I like the tuning. It has a simple tune on it. You just see one thing moving, and you can see it's graduated up to the proper frequencies, and it is tuned well into the range of what you see on the face. And I was like really pleasantly surprised. I was pulling in a lot of shortwave stations just off the whip antenna, which is what it has. It's also solar powered as well. So that's good. And I'm assuming that we could probably figure out if the battery is continuously charged by seeing the red LED light. That's about the only way I could figure that out. There's no other meter on the radio. So it's a very basic, down-to-earth, back to basics radio. You've got an on-off switch, also controlling the volume, and one knob for tuning. There's no pressing any other buttons. Oh, and it has this handy-dandy LED light for an emergency. So this would be a good emergency radio. I'll give you that. But I have one major complaint that I'll close with in this evaluation of the isolar radio. It doesn't have a headphone jack. And when I got the radio, for some reason, I thought it had a headphone jack. When I bought it, it does not have a headphone jack. A message to the overseas manufacturers in China, wherever these radios are coming from, please put a headphone jack in the radio. How much more could a headphone jack cost? Americans love to listen through headphones. We would take this radio anywhere with us. What if you're on the train or an aircraft or airplane or wherever you're in the car with your family? You're going to bother them without a headphone jack. So it's okay to listen to in group mode, but as far as like having this radio be something you use alone or maybe in a tent in the middle of the night when you're camping with other people, that's not going to work. Not going to work. So the other jacks that are here, you have, I don't know what this is about. This says 4 volts output. I'm not sure what you're outputting there. You have a USB port for charging, and it looks like there's a DC volt with a standard mini jack to it. A TF card, which is for storing music probably and recording, and because it has the forward and backward adjustment. I've never used that in any radio that's ever come in. Maybe some other people have who like to record their programs, but I personally have never done that. And this is, of course, your band control, and it goes shortwave, AM, FM, and so you can downplay or play MP3s off the data card. So anyhow, that's my biggest complaint about this radio is it doesn't have a headphone jack. Now maybe if the manufacturer happens to see this review, maybe you can send me one that does have a headphone jack, and I'll review that as well. But right now, I can't give this radio 5 stars because it doesn't have that headphone jack. I'll give it 3.5 stars for what it is. It's got a lot of things going for it, including the solar power backup, the lithium battery. It's easily usable. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to operate it. So it has a big plus side to it, but it's just missing that headphone jack, which is just one of my major pet peeves. Okay, thanks. This is Gene from Listening in Radio. Have a great day.